Are you ready to do a whiskey review with Shanks? Let's go. Hey, what's up? This is Mark from Northwest Bourbon. I am checking out Shanks. Got this 2023 edition of Shanks. Let's check out the bottle real quick. It says Kentucky Sour Mash Whiskey, Shanks Homestead, small batch, 91.2 proof, 45.6 alcohol by volume, 750 milliliters. The 2023 release. And this one I have right here is bottle number 152 out of 2,938, batch number 23, Delta 1491. It has a really classy front look to it. Let's look at the back. Shanks Homestead Sour Mash Whiskey honors the legacy of American whiskey figure John Shenk, who in 1753 founded a distillery that was to become known as Michter's in the 20th century. Please join us in toasting and celebrating American whiskey history. Now, speaking of, just yesterday, I went to a local whiskey meetup with some online Washington State whiskey enthusiasts. We went to an awesome bar and we had a guest speaker who was Brian, the American Northwest distributor for Michter's. And so he told me some stuff that I'd never heard before. Check it out.
Michter's is a brand. It's actually the first American whiskey company in the U.S. 1753. It's a Mennonite farmer by the last name of Shenk. Started the brand. This brand was in Valley Forge. So after Shenk, a guy by the name of Bombergers bought the brand from him. Went for a number of years. Sold a number of times. And then shut down in Prohibition.
Okay, some of you know the special releases from Michter's are Shanks and Bombergers. I did not know that John Shenk was the original person that opened up that distillery, and then Bomberger is the one who took over the distillery after Shenk. And so Shanks and Bombergers are an homage. They're in honor of the first and the second owner of the Michter's distillery. And I thought that was really cool. Also, looking at the bottle, you'll see it has a pretty pronounced punt. Now, with a punt this pronounced, you can stick your thumb in it and hold the bottle sideways while you're pouring it. It's just a little tip and trick that I learned from Troy Man. Now, speaking of Troy Man, the only other time I've ever tried Shanks is he gave me a different batch a few months back as a sample. And so I'm excited to try this batch and see how it compares to that one. But even more, I'm interested to see how the Shanks compares to the Bombergers, because yesterday when we were at the bar with Brian from Michter's, I got to try the Bombergers that they had there, and it was pretty darn good. And that's a small batch just like this one, but the Bombergers is 108 proof while the Shanks is 91.2. So let's not waste any more time and get this seal cracked and get this glass poured up. And we're gonna pour the first pour out of the bottle into the infinity bottle. And then the second one we are going to review with you. Alright, so now we got that poured up in our wisdom glass. It is a nice copper amberish color. It has some candy notes right off the top. Not like that dark, thick butterscotch, but like the dollar store cheap yellow disc butterscotches. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way, that it smells really sweet. There's a little bit of fruit, there's a little bit of wood, but those scents aren't as strong as the like cheap butterscotch, the marshmallow, vanilla. There's those lighter sides of the notes come out a lot stronger on the nose. Let's get into the palate. Cheers. Oh, interesting. Oh, I like how it fills the back of your palate. The front was really misleading. Like the front of the palate didn't let me know how much it was going to coat the back of the palate. I wasn't really fond of the tip of the tongue sweetness right off the bat, but I really like the back of the mouthfeel. Let's go in for a second one. Cheers. After your mouth gets acclimated, the front of the palate does get better. The back of the palate stays nice and fulfilling. There is a creaminess to it, not just flavor but also texture. like just whipped cream in the mouth. It's got some darker notes in it, like figs or raisins, but those are in a completely different side of your mouth than that vanilla cream. That's not bad at all. It's got a pretty medium to short finish, nothing too crazy on the finish, but considering it is a 91.2 proof, we can't expect too much on the finish. The Bomburgers had a much darker, deeper mouthfeel and a longer finish. The Shenks has a much more pleasant, sippable, just crushable bottle. Like I could just sit there and drink this watching a movie and just enjoy every sip of it. But it doesn't give me nearly the finish that the Bomburgers did. But the mouthfeel and the mouth coat and the overall palate is really nice in the Shenks. Alright, with all that being said, let's look at the price point. And what I see online is it varies greatly depending on what area you are locationally. You can see them from $100 to $200. It's all over the place. But what I see in my area is the Shenks is around 100, Bomburgers is around 115, and I think that's pretty fair because aside from Michter's big like 10 and 20 year, like their big special releases, these are some special releases from Michter's paying tribute to the founding fathers of their label. Well, thanks for joining me for this whiskey quickie review of Shenks. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button because we've got a lot more videos coming your way, and make sure you check out the playlists because we have a lot of different categories of videos and we have them all subcategorized in those playlists. And we'll see you on the next review. Earn, protect, enjoy. Cheers.